HHDG.
Peace, HHDG. We are on another episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. Shout out to our Facebook group, HipHop discussion group, HHDG, tuning in. Shout out to all of y'all, as always. And as always, our HHDG Media Inc. company makes it happen. Rock Vader KB, myself, Wiki, T. Smith, the Mayor. Sorry. And also Skelly Top. Before we get into our guest for tonight, coming out of Chi-Town, got to give him his props. This man has been putting in some dope lyrics, and he's put out, 4 projects within 2 years? It's been about 2 years now. He took a brief hiatus and came back strong. Switched up the name, and even before that, still was dropping some ill lyrics and songs. We're going to talk about, the producers that he's worked with coming out of his hometown, as well as a few other places. The importance of having those skills and putting it out there for the people to hear. People reaching out to him after knowing what his worth is, and also just talking about the struggle. Every single project he's put out has been dope. I mean, there isn't one I could list that sounds the same. Each one has a concept, and he sticks with it. There's more history to it than just the images that you might see on the covers. We're definitely going to talk about that. And talk about the importance of also networking and building a family, not just a family within the music, but at home, and how important that is, with the music and how relatable it can be. He's worked with people like Vic Spencer, Dr. Mindbender, dope up and coming artists, JR, AM Early Morning. Who else? Man, quite a few. Vakil, Water. I mean, this is some dope Chicago artists we're talking about right here. So if they're working with him, what's up. I'd like to introduce, coming out of the shot, IAMGAWD.
What the family? How you doing on this evening?
Doing good.
Glad to hear.
Now tell everyone about the name, because he got an acronym for that.
Facts. So yeah, the name is IAMGAWD, IAMGAWD, and it basically translates, or break down, I should say, into I am getting ahead without devolving. Before I picked this name, I was going by the name T to God, TTHEGAWD. But I was in the process of trying to get a trademark, and the trademark attorney was basically, I came across another T to God, TDAGOD, and the trademark attorney was kind of telling me that I should get away from that name to avoid any future, legal instances. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, cool, but at the same time I was like, damn, like another name change. I'm just coming back out, like I don't want this rebrand to kill any momentum I might have built when I dropped the initial project when I came back in 2020, which is IAMGAWD. Shout out Max Julian. He produced that one in its entirety. But I was using a hashtag IAMGAWD with the microphone and the crown. So I started thinking, like, why don't I just call myself IAMGAWD? Like, I'm pretty sure that name is controversial. It's a conversation starter. To me, it sounds powerful. And, I'm like, why not? Let's run with it. I ain't really got no other choice as of right now. So that always had that meaning and that acronym attached to it. So I just rolled with it as my name.
There you go. Dope, dope. Hmm. Now, in the beginning, I was talking about family, and
Mm-hmm.
that importance. Yeah, I mean, being an artist in music is a challenge in itself. And then when you bring a family into it, it's a little bit harder. You got to grind. You got to grind a little bit harder. You got to get your name out there. There's competition all over the place.
Facts.
So you took, I think it was like a 2-year hiatus
Yeah.
before you came back with I Am God.
Right.
So just give us a little glimpse of that drive to come back out.
But yeah, so I think it was like 2016, 2017 where I initially decided it wasn't planned to be a hiatus. I'll say that. I was really trying to quit. Like I wanted to be done with rap. I was disappointed in myself, the lack of advancement, the lack of progress that I had failed to make in my eyes, in my opinion, and just the overall state of music at the time. You know what I'm saying? Commercial music, popular music, mainstream music. I just wasn't feeling nothing at the time, and I was kind of over rap. I was listening to what I grew up on, what I liked, a few artists from modern day, from that time period that I liked, and I just wanted to like leave it alone. But old habits die hard. I felt like that I could work a job for the rest of my life, which the older I get, the more I realize that I can't work a job for the rest of my life. I'm just not cut for that. I've been working since I was 14, 15 years old, but the older I get, I realize that it's not set up to really, what I'm saying, to really do what you want to do in life. So, and with the emergence of Griselda too, those are in
Mhm.
particular the dudes who made me want to start back rapping, specifically Conway. I think it was like I don't know if it was Show Off Radio with Static Selector. I think that's his
Yeah,
radio
yeah,
show.
that's a show.
Uh,
Yep.
so I think I saw him on that, and Conway was going crazy, and I'm like, damn, like what was this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I start seeing the buzz about him. You know what I'm saying? As far as the internet, I'm like, oh shit, y'all like this type of music again? Okay, I do this very well. So that initially sparked what I'm saying, put the battery in my back. It sparked the uh the creativity and a desire again. And I didn't really know how it was gonna go because being gone for a year and a half, 2 years or whatever, I knew it was
Mhm.
still people that would recognize me, but my fan base was so small at the time I decided to quit. So I didn't know if I was gonna get lost in the shovel or what. But thankfully, I came in contact with some great people. You know what I'm saying? I got a shout out Kill, Portia, what I'm saying, Eddie from the Apartment 5B podcast. They really embraced my music and like didn't charge me a dime, but just told me like, "Hey, man, this is dope. We gonna help you. I'm gonna help you." And then, like that's a big reason and probably the main reason of the little buzz I got going as far as Twitter right now. Like social media has been popping for me since I came back, and that's a dope sign. But, all I ever wanted was to see that forward progress and to see that I was trending in the right direction. Upon my return, it took a little while, but it happened relatively quick though. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So with the little buzz that I'm getting, we just trying to build on that. So
There you go. That's a great start. And a fellow Chicago artist that you work with, Brittany Carter, recently was saying it takes courage to remain dedicated, and you are definitely an example of being dedicated.
absolutely. When I like before I quit, like, it's funny to me. I've done more since I've been back with having a family. You know what I'm saying? I got two boys, ages 10 and 14. A whole girlfriend, a whole 9 to 5, a household to maintain, and I've managed to do more in these 2 years I've been back than I
Mhm.
was able to do in the past when I had less responsibilities and before my second child. So it's crazy, and I gotta attribute that to maturity. You know what I'm saying, and just
Mhm.
uh, wisening up and understanding that it's not nobody else's fault. You know what I'm saying? This is up to me. I was in my own way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once I got rid of some of the mentality I had and changed things around a little bit, things became much more easier. I'm not saying that I got it all figured out, but things definitely became a lot more easier than they were. And it started with self.
Absolutely, yeah. You get older and you see things differently, and it definitely attribute that to maturity.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. Now, um, you work quite often with Dr. Mindbender. He does a lot of engineering work with you, and he's also a dope producer. Um, did you know him before the music?
No, I gotta attribute that connection and that relationship to the homie GQ. GQ the teacher. Shout out GQ 24/7 HH 24/7 hip hop. Um, you know, I did upon me returning to music, it didn't start with music as far as like putting out music. I was just doing like little car freestyle, sitting in my car and just rapping to whatever beats, you know what I'm saying? And I did one. It was inspired by Benny the Butcher 97 Hove. This was around the time of Tana Talk 3. And 97 Hove was going crazy. And that was one of my favorite joints over there. And Nas is my favorite rapper. So I'm like, okay, if he 97 Hove, I feel like I'm 96 Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like 96 Nas, I don't feel like it was too many other rappers that was better than Nas at that point in time. That whole it was written era. So I
Right.
took the Shoutouts instrumental and blended it with the I Gave You Power instrumental. And I did 96 Nas as a re- not a response, but it was inspired by the 97 Hole.
Yeah.
And I was tagging and adding Benny in it, hoping that he'd see it and retweet the shit, you know what I'm saying, to catch a little steam off of it, and he did. And GQ, he got a relationship with them, the Griselda or whatever. And he was asking Benny, like, bro, who is this? Whole time not knowing, like Benny told him, like, nigga, you from your neck of the woods. I'm thinking you would know him. You know what I'm saying? Because GQ, you know what I'm saying? He from New York, but Chicago, New York transplant, you know what I'm saying, repping Chicago. He been out here for a minute. I think early 90s, but he got in contact with me. He was like, bro, you dope. I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? And he responsible for introducing me to Doc. And me and Doc been rocking ever since. You know what I'm saying? As you alluded to, that's my primary engineer.
Hmm.
Roundhouse, you know what I'm saying? And he produced not my last project, but project before last, Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons. He produced that
Right.
in entirety. So yeah, me and Doc work very close together. He engineered and produced for some of your favorites.
Absolutely. Yep. And which, by the way, that album just the physicals just recently sold out.
Yeah. Shout out to all the supporters for allowing that to happen. We are officially sold out of physical, uh, like CDs and vinyl for Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons. I think that's the first project we actually know. Well, this first project we sold out of would be being a part of Filthy Records. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to K,
Mhm.
the whole squad. You know what I'm saying? DJ Sean Doe. Shout out to everybody. Slime, Solar 5, Def C, Tone Live. But that's the first product, the physicals that sold out since being over there. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. And I noticed with all of your projects, you make sure that you give the people a physical copy.
Absolutely. I understand the
It,
market, and I didn't even think that I was like a vinyl artist. You know what I'm saying? Because we first did vinyl, we first experimented with that doing the Eternal Reflection. That was the first project of mine that was ever the first piece of music of mine that was ever put on vinyl. And I was going
mhm.
back and forth with the K and Sean Doe, like, bro, like, ain't nobody finna spend $30, $40 on no vinyl for no artist they don't know. Like, I don't want y'all to spend that money and don't see no return on that. Don't do it. And they like, nah,
Yeah,
trust us. Like, this is because I wasn't in tune. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still
mhm.
not over myself. I'm still kind of salty, still kind of mad. So I ain't really paying attention to what's going on. I'm in my own world listening to what I've been listening to. So I wasn't really
Gotcha.
surveying the scene and seeing what was actually going on. And like that ended up being a blessing in disguise.
Hmm. Yep. So that definitely shows that you had fans out there that was willing to get those copies.
Absolutely.
That's great. Mm. Some, let me see. I Am God was the first album. That was 2020, right?
Yes.
That was with Max Julian.
Yeah. Shout out to homie Max Jr.
Now he's a producer, as I was telling you probably like a month ago, that I've been listening to for quite some time, and I have some of his work. So is he another person that you had recently known about at that time?
I didn't know who Max Julian was. I gotta attribute that relationship to an artist by the name of Johnny Guns. I was doing some feature work for him. We was working together on some stuff, and I was hearing some of his joints, and I'm like, man, who is that? Like, who producing these joints? And he told me like, oh, that's the homie Max Julian. He a beast, he a problem. I'm like, yeah, he is. But I still didn't want to ask him, because sometimes you never know. I was just getting to know Guns at that time. And you never know. Sometimes like people try to hold shit to their chest. They don't want to shed a plug, so to speak. So I didn't ask him about, what I'm saying, connecting me. But he had brought it up one time. He's like, I'm gonna connect you because I know y'all will go crazy together. And I'm like, I bet, like, it sound good, but if so, cool, appreciate that. And he stayed true to his word, and he connected me and Max, and me and Max, we just it was easy, it was easy because like I feel like I have a decent ear for production. I know what I want to rap over. I know what I like. I know what I sound like over what type of what I'm saying sound. So it was easy. Like I'm not gonna say that I accepted everything that he sent. I'm very picky with what I choose to make music to because I feel like I'm the type of artist to where like the beat drives me. The beat tells me what to do. The music is my instructor, is my navigation, so to speak. So listening to the music is pulling the emotion from me. I don't have to think too much. Of course, I'm thinking about what I want to say and how I want to present it. But when you got that extra inspiration from the music being so dope, it's easy. So that's what I mean when
Yeah,
I say working with Max. It was easy.
that's dope. And Max, if you are checking this out, here's just one of your physicals that I have.
Shout out
I, I'm
Max.
I'm definitely a fan from back in the days of copping cassettes of producers just dropping their instrumental projects on
Right.
there. I've always been a fan of that.
Yeah.
And being that we're talking about producers, you are one of the few people, one of the few MCs I can say that is meticulous with the production that you select, and it's always come out dope. So
Thank
I
you.
definitely gotta give you a shout out on that because there's a lot of gifted artists, MCs out there that they're not good at the selection of the production, and it shows when the final product is out.
Yeah, I really I take that marriage seriously as far as like the lyrics and what's being said in the production because you got the dopest bars in the world, but if the production ain't on much, it's a turnoff. So I never wanted to fall into that category for whatever reason. I don't know if artists do it because they challenging themselves, or if it's they don't want the production to outshine them. I don't know why, artists, what I'm saying, like maybe they just experimenting, maybe they actually like what it is they rapping to. But I know for me it's a marriage, a dope ass beat and dope ass bars go hand in hand. So it has to be that all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I gotta give a rest in peace to infamous of Black Table Committee.
Absolutely,
You
rest in
did a
peace.
album about maybe 10, 11 years ago, maybe actually a little bit longer than that. I think it was 2009.
Yes, it was 2009. Music of the Mind. Rest in peace, Infamous. He smoked that production, man. That dude was so talented at such a young age, man. Like ahead of his time, and he was a dope wordsmith too. Like had bars on deck as well. Shout out to him and his brother, King Genius. He going by a different name now. How did I forget bro name? Um, I can't remember the moniker he going by now, but I was introduced to him as King Genius. So man, Black Table in as more than decent, like raw ass projects, like back around the time I first started getting on the internet. But yeah, rest in peace, Infamous man. Shout out to homie Fable too. That's his cousin.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they
Fable's
related.
dope.
Yeah, super dope.
Sh- Shout out the whole Gold Standard Collective crew.
Facts, facts. Everybody, you already know what it is.
hmm Now, how does it feel to have Max and Custom Made actually reach out to you?
Oh, before I answer that, Cliff Clouds, that's bro, a new
Cliff
moniker he
Clouds.
go by,
Okay.
King Genius. He Cliff Clouds nowadays, but yeah, dope, super
All right.
dope.
I'll
Um,
definitely go look that up.
yeah, but you know, it's an honor, because I respect the artistry and shit. Like I don't just look at beat makers or producers as just beat makers. Like even if you not, I've never really been produced before. I kind of handle a lot of the when I create projects, like I'm taking the joints and I'm making them, what I'm saying, what I want them to be. I do accept
Mhm.
input here and there, and I'm not saying I'm against being produced, but I just been doing it on my own for so long, it just comes natural. I know what, I'm saying, I want to hear, I'm saying, shit sound like. So, but I respect their artistry. It's like not even knowing who they are, I'm willing to give anybody a shot. And that sound crazy because I ain't nobody to really be saying I'm willing to give somebody a shot. I'm still looking for my shot. But I'm just saying, like, I'm willing to work with anybody who willing to work and who is really willing to work. And one thing that impressed or surprised them about me is like the pace I work at when I get going. I'm not
Mhm.
always a fast writer, but when I get into that zone, it just start coming. And again, that's the music pulling all that out of me. So, it was an honor for to be sought out by anybody who was doing a thing and who got crazy talent. I only want to work with the dopest cats. Excuse
So, and you mentioned Fast Rogers. You said in an interview not too long ago that this man right here, Vic Spencer,
me. Yes, shout
is
out
a
bro.
fast rider.
Man, bro. This dude Vic, man. Like it's crazy. Like I can't even really fathom. But like recently, you know what I'm saying? Like I was out in LA with bro, and he was talking. It was me, him, Planet Asia, K Burns, um,
Ecto.
Ecto, yeah, yeah. I think a few others, Dirty
Hmm.
Diggs.
Yep.
When we was out there, what I'm saying, putting work in, like bro, he works, what I'm saying? So we was out there putting work in, and I heard him say something, and it kind of took me back to my childhood. Bro said, uh, I can't wait to get to the studio. I can't wait to rap. And that shit was just like lightning struck inside of me. Like this nigga actually said, I can't wait to rap. I haven't felt that me personally in so
Hmm.
long. Like, don't get me wrong. I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I haven't felt like I can't wait to rap since I was probably 16, 17 years old. Back when I could write 30 16s in a row and still have that mental capacity to want to do more.
Yeah.
So when I heard him say that, I'm like, bro, still embodies that youthful vigor that I had, that we all have as artists, when we young, and we got that stamina to go and go and go and go. And
Yep.
that was like, that was impressive to me. Like that opened up some of me, and I'm like, okay, I gotta take that approach because I got the talent and I got the dedication. But if I could add that, if I could somehow, you know, develop that and add that or get that back, I'd be super unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? So bro is definitely a quick writer, an inspiration at that. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say I look at him and another cat by the name of Griffin as like the forefathers of the modern day underground Chicago. I understand there's OGs out there like Vakil who've been doing it forever, and that's no slight
Hmm.
to him. He is like a different level. A Vakil is kind of like a almost a Mount Rushmore for Chicago MCs. You know what I'm saying? When I say I look at Vic and Griffin as the underground forefathers of the modern day underground, that's for the crop of MCs that you mentioned earlier. I feel like they the forefathers of like the Waters, you know what I'm saying? The I Am Gods, you know what I'm saying? The King Sevens, like, and in the sense that they've been doing it for so long and they stay consistent. Where a lot of us, I know myself, definitely we wavered. Like I tried my hand with the trap shit, so to speak, right before I quit. Like the last three
Hmm.
singles, I actually like put them back out. You know what I'm saying? Not too long ago, a couple months ago, was like heavily trap influence. Because I was so frustrated with not being able to come up doing what I love doing, which is the bars, which is the boom bap. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us wavered, some of us quit, some of us kept it going. But them two dudes right there, like they stayed solid and they stayed doing what they did. They never let outside influences like taint what they felt like their music should be. So, you know what I'm saying? Speaking on Vic, you know what I'm saying? His work ethic is incredible. This dude got a vault like none other. This dude could drop albums for another 10 years if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? That's how much music he got in the stash. Definitely shout
Wow.
out Bronan.
Amazing, amazing. Now, and before we get back to you, I got to shout out Vic because he just dropped a dope single today,
Absolutely.
Pitfall Music, produced by Small Professor out of Philly from Wrecking Crew. Shout out them. We had
Hmm.
him on the show before,
Okay.
and DJ Revolution killed those cuts, man.
And shout out
Mm-mm-mm.
him and Doc too for the project they just dropped, Still Here, I believe it is. Like that was a long time in the making.
Yeah,
You know, like that project dope. You know what I'm saying? I think it what did it drop through? Man, what's the name of the label? Man, mine slips me. I'm kind of tired right now, but that's homie Super Legend. You know, I believe that's his label. You know,
oh yeah,
the
Super
original
Sounds.
Super Sounds. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
Super Legend label. You know what I'm saying? So I love what they doing. You know what I'm saying? I love what they did with that. Super dope.
Yep. Dope, dope. Now, what what keeps your pen sharp?
History or the possibility of creating history and making history, because my I said this time and time again before as well, like my thing is not money or being rich off the shit, like, and I feel like I'm the one of or a very small group of a last of a dying breed, because you know everybody talking about the money and this and that, and I definitely understand that we all want to profit and be paid and live well off what
Hmm.
we love to do. But for me, I just come from that era where being the best was everything. You know what I'm saying? So I need my name in them history books. Like I don't want to just make your top five of modern day artists. Like I want to be mentioned alongside Kale Cool G rapping Rakim if possible. You know what I'm saying? Like they the
Yeah.
ones who started it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be mentioned amongst them. Like when I say history, I mean like I want to be top five of all time, top three, top two, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you know, since the creation of this thing we call rap and hip hop, it's been several different best rappers. You know, everybody kind of had their time to shine, whether they was the best rapper for a couple months, a year, a couple years, a decade, whatever. It has to be unanimous at one point in time that motherfuckers say, I am God is the best rapper doing it. He's the best rapper alive right now. Like I need that for my own ego. You know what I'm saying? Just for, of course, it ain't gonna be 100% everybody, but for the majority to stand in unison and say, nah, that nigga I am God. He got it. Ain't nobody fucking with him right now. You know what I'm saying? And then making them top fives and being mentioned alongside like icons. You know what I'm saying? Like icons.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want. I want history more than anything else. I want to leave a mark and be remembered after I'm dead and gone.
And you bring a complete package, and that's what I appreciate. You got the bars. You can brag about a lot of shit. You bring, speaking of Chicago, the highs and the lows of Chicago. You talk about crime, and then you talk about family, and then you just talk about just overall. I'm the nicest.
Facts. That's what I grew up on. Like artists that I follow, like the artists that raised me is dudes like The Locks, Nas, Jay Z, Biggie, Tupac, Ice Cube, Twister, Psychodrama. You know, the list goes on. Big Pun, DMX. You know, the list goes on and on and on. Mob Deep,
Hmm.
Busta Rhymes. There's so many influences. You know, Lupe, Kanye. It's so many influences. So I got so much to pull and draw from over the years. You know, to add to my repertoire. And it's just like I am a throwback MC. Like I'm what you would get from the '90s because I studied them so hard and I built myself to be what they were. Because at that time it was still that era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was when I became or when I realized what type of artist I wanted to be, it was around the early 2000s. So I understood, like I studied all the classic albums, like from Capital Punishment to Death Certificate to Illmatic. It was written Reasonable Doubt, Ready to Die, Life After Death, All Eyes on Me, 7 Day Theory, Me Against the World, like all these Adrenaline Rush, like all these albums, like I study and I'm like, okay, I see what they doing. You know what I'm saying? I see what they doing. And I adapted all that. And I've been being told recently that I check all the boxes, and that's a big thing for me because it's like I want to be a rapper's rapper. I want to be an MC's MC, a artist. So the only thing that I really can't do well is like freestyle, like totally freestyle off the top. I could do
Hmm.
it, play around with it, but I never like be on a radio interview thinking I'm finna go crazy and actually freestyle. That's like basically
Okay.
the only thing that I never really took the time to master. But other than that, I feel like I'm a well-rounded, complete MC, and I owe a lot of that to, you know what I'm saying, the MCs of yesteryear, which a lot of them are still doing it big to this day. So
Yeah.
it's legends that they flow through me.
Solid, solid. And how important is it for you? I mean, you have two boys that you mentioned, and actually almost around the same age as mine. My oldest is 14, my youngest is 8.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just speaking on just the way society is, and there's certain things that we as black men gotta educate our children on to be aware of in society alone. That a lot of other nationalities, and people don't have to.
Right. It's I'm not gonna say it's rough, but it's real. It's real because like it. The more time goes by, to me, it's like the weirder shit get. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just be looking around, like I'm not. It's inexplicable. You know what I'm saying? To a degree, it's
Mhm.
like damn. Like I just be looking around and just seeing the way that society is headed and seeing how shit is constantly changing and evolving, and it's like I couldn't have predicted none of this, because I'm from an era to where shit was what it was. Shit is not. I mean, you could do whatever you want, be whatever you want nowadays. You got identify as whatever you want, and that's cool. But it's like
Mhm.
a lot of shit is like, damn, like it's a lot of shit that's accepted. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that
Yeah.
gets accepted is crazy to me, and it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And how far we came, but really ain't really came that far at all in certain aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I give my shorties both sides though, because my shorties is biracial. You know what I'm saying? Like their mother
Mhm.
is Russian. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Okay.
I got to give them everything. I don't hide nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
are of me. You are black, but you are of her too. You know what I'm saying? And
Right. Right.
it's crazy. Like with the war going on and all that over in Ukraine, they starting to feel a little bit of that. Uh, that I guess I would say negativity. I'll just phrase it as that. Nothing too serious, but people knowing they Russian and saying little slick remarks to them.
Slick. Uh huh.
Nothing
Yeah.
too crazy, but just still like, and they don't understand because they ain't got shit to do with that. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't born in Russia. They just happened to come from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it is what it is. I'm like, bro, you gonna like you talking to a black man. You got a black man as your father. Like I've been watching this shit and dealing with it for 36 years. It just is what it is, bro. You have to develop tough skin and understand who you are as a person, regardless of
Yeah.
what stereotypes people may have come to the, you know what I'm saying, place on who you are, or you know what I'm saying. My oldest dealing with classmates telling him that he ain't black and this and that. It's like, bro,
Mm.
like that just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I make no apologies for who I had you with. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's what it was. That's what it is. So you are who you are. Be proud of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you have uh, a deep well of history to draw from. You know what I'm saying? With having with your mother being who she is and me being who I am. So I don't really have much from my shorties. I haven't given them everything yet, with them still being
Right.
so strong. But
Hmm.
especially my oldest, it's about time for us to start having meaningful
Absolutely.
conversations. So yeah, I'm all about that.
Yeah. Because with my oldest now, I see how certain things have changed, and sometimes he asks questions, so I'm there to give it to him
Gotta
if
be.
he's asking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. One thing I did notice about your albums is each cover has a portrait, and that portrait is it's what the album is what the album is about. How do you go about the creative process when it comes with your albums?
The cover art is usually one of the last things that's done, because I feel like, as you said, it should represent the body of work. Much respect to abstract art, but I'm not so much into abstract art that I just want something that looks good, but it has nothing to do with the actual music. Like I want everything to tie together. I want everything to tell a cohesive, solid story. So artwork is is very important, like super important. It's imperative that the artwork to stand up alongside the music, you know. So with the I Am God cover and the Murder Castle cover, they both heavily influenced by the Illmatic cover. You know, it's the portrait with a certain background faded, you know what I'm saying, with the actual portrait. And
Yeah.
I just always love the Illmatic cover. Like that cover is so iconic, you know. So of course, doing it for I Am God, you know, it was my ode to Illmatic, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, is my face as a young kid, with a collection of images behind. It was like a crime scene, a murder scene. Um, one of the images was like a particular section of my old neighborhood, and there was a couple other images I forget. And with Murder Castle being, you know, if people are unfamiliar, I think it was a show called American Horror Story, and they did an episode that was based on him and a murder castle. Uh,
Yep.
the figure on the cover is a dude by the name of H. Holmes.
Yeah. The serial killer.
Yeah, and he's touted as being America's first serial killer. He had a hotel, which is the Murder Castle. I think this was like 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. I forget the time period.
Yeah, I
But it
think it
was
was
doing,
like late 1800s. Yeah.
yeah, but it was during the time of the World Fair in Chicago. You know, it was a big fair. People from all over was coming to Chicago. So he was housing a lot of tourists, you know, and he is credited with having over like 200 murders. Some people say it's super overblown and he probably didn't kill no more than 2 or 3 people for his own personal gain, which is monetary driven. But it's a lot of people that speculate he killed over like 200 people. But like just hearing that story, and shout out to Black Depths because I didn't even know nothing about that. He brought that concept to me, and I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
let me check this out. Let me dig into this. And you know, after doing my research, I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect. Because you know, it was said that after they locked him up and they raided the murder castle, he had all types of rooms and shit, like soundproof rooms, rooms that doubled as like that led to other rooms, secret pathways, like torture rooms. Like his basement had like vials of acid to dispose of bodies and shit, like crazy shit. So it's like, okay, I could play on this. I could play with this. Like the project as a whole would be the Murder Castle, but each track is like a room. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that concept came from. But yeah, like with the Eternal Reflection cover, shout out to 46 Designs. They did the cover for that. Like that was an important cover to me. Rest in peace, Yummy Sandifer. That's who that portrait is of, for those who don't know. That's another story from Chicago.
Yep.
Young kid, 11 years old, was murdered execution style. In the Roseland neighborhood. He was reported to be a member of the Black Disciples, the BDs, and allegedly he murdered a young girl at the time while being sent on a mission to do a gang hit. And he was murdered by his own in order to allegedly he was murdered by his own in order to keep him from being caught and talking to the police. So that was a real crazy story, and that story always stuck with me, you know. So I didn't feel like I had the authority to tell his story, so that's not what that project was. But that portrait and that image just represented the theme of the project so well. You know what I'm saying? And I caught some backlash for it from some of his family. Initially, his younger brother wasn't too fond of it, but we had a conversation. We spoke. Shout out Car Dave, and he gave me his blessing. Um, some other relatives of his, they wasn't too worried about it. You know what I'm saying? They was you represented him the right way. Appreciate you. But his older sister, she wasn't too fond of it, and I never got a chance to make that right with her. But I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
really have any line of communication with the family because I definitely would have reached out. You know what I'm saying, prior to, and I almost didn't use it, but I felt like it fit so perfectly, and it was such a message and a story that needed to be that people needed to be reminded of, because it's like the more things change, the more they stay the same. And the same thing that was going on in his time in 94 is still going on now at an even worse rate. So, you know, that was something I felt like that I should do.
Definitely, definitely. And for those that are not familiar, I just want to show that cover right there.
Yeah. We actually went with that. that design for physicals because I didn't want to make it seem like, even though it's still his a portrait, a commissioned portrait of Yummy, I didn't want to sell anything with his face on it intact. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying
Hmm.
to profit off his story and his likeness. That's why I kind
I
of played
understand.
off the reflection and had it like a shattered mirror or whatever. So I didn't want to sell nothing with his image on it in intact as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So that
Mm,
was like a conscious decision because I felt a little guilty about using the image, knowing that I ain't had the blessings of his family anyway.
that's understood. And with your track titles, I mean, you gave a breakdown on Murder Castle, how the tracks are. Is that the same way you go with the previous albums, like Reflection Eternal and I Am God?
Yeah, like the titles come from basically just whatever I feel like the song is majorly about, whatever the song entails. So even if it's just like a freestyle track to where it's no specific topic and I'm just going off, I take what I feel like is the dopest thing that said the dopest phrase or dopest line, and I make that the title, or
Mm,
if it does represent something, I wanted to stand out. I don't really like to do anything bland or basic or mediocre, hence the no
mm,
mediocre. Is kind of like I want things to stand out and catch your attention and basically leave an impression.
gotcha. Mm. Being that you just brought up the label, tell the people about your label, No Mediocre Recordings.
Yeah, no mediocre is a new endeavor for me. This is my first time really like getting into like the business aspect of music. I just feel like I need to continue to familiarize myself with the business aspect of it. And I mean, I'm good artistically. I can always be better. I'm always striving to get better artistically, but I feel like my business acumen needs to catch up like quickly. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, having my publishing right. You know what I'm saying? Doing everything the right way, that's important, because you hear all these horror stories about people doing bad business, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be remembered for
Right.
that. Like it's enough money in this for everybody. So being on my business and just being on my business, so I won't get jerked. I'm not worried about jerking nobody else because I know that's not what's in my heart, but just so I know the game and I won't get jerked. As of right now, I don't have no aspirations to seek any major label things like that. But
Hmm.
if something was to present itself in the future and it's worth my time, then I could possibly entertain it. So I kind of want to, just get my feet wet in the business world. And I don't want to be nobody else artist for the rest of my life. Eventually, I want to put out artists as well. But right now, I am the sole focus for No Mediocre Recordings. Still filthy Analex record company. I'm still fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? Murder Castle was the first project to be put out in conjunction with No Mediocre and Filthy Records. So I'm happy about that. Again, just trying to get my feet wet in the business world, in the business aspect of music, and expand my knowledge and just keep leveling up. I feel like it's a level up right there. You can't continue to do the same things. You gotta strive to achieve more. And it's a baby
Right.
step, but it's a step that I felt like it was time for me to take.
Cool. Cool. Yep. Shout out to TK the Llama
Yes, yes, yes,
running Filthy Records.
yes. Most definitely. Shout out bro, Decay. Incredible MC as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know that. He started out with alongside Panic Mole Man. This was
Hmm.
after Vakil, because Vakil started out with Panic and Mole Man too. So next generation Mole Man, you know what I'm saying? After Vakil, Machine Wash Records, and then you know what I'm saying, he did the Filthy Analex record company, and we rocking. Here we are.
Definitely. Yeah. I remember when the moment were out.
Yeah,
Just putting out all types of ill production and projects.
yep,
Shout out to them. I think I still have two of their hoodies that they had
yeah.
back then.
And Chicago history right there. Gotta salute them. Hats off to them. You know what I'm saying? Because even though I was probably too focused on East Coast or West Coast or whoever I was listening to at the time. I kind of missed the wave because I was so focused on what I was focused on. Inadvertently, like they influenced me as well. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people that I didn't even really listen to as much as I may have listened to others that I still credit with having an influence on me because they might have influenced the person I do listen to. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a heavy influence. I gotta shout out all the crews from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Matt's crew, mastered all that shit. Color One. If people don't know, that's where like Twister came from. Matt's crew. That Matt's crew was kind of like what the predecessor to Drama Award. Shout out Triple Darkness, Direct, you know what I'm saying, Psycho Drama. Matt's crew was kind of like the predecessor to Triple Darkness. Ill State Assassins, shout out White Folks, EC Ella, Ange 13, Kingdom Rock, you know, everybody, you know what I'm saying, and Mo Men as well. Like we got Chicago got some history on this hip hop shit, man. People forget. They act like all we
Absolutely,
do
yeah.
is drill, man. That ain't all we do. You know what I'm saying?
That that's what they see now, so that's what they assume. But Chicago is one of those cities that all types of hip hop.
Absolutely. Chicago never forgot how to rap.
Dope, dope, man. And you have in Decay, how would I say it? You could say in a way you're kind of his protege in a way because from what I know, Decay created his label out of the problems that he's seen and dealt with in the industry. So
Right.
go my own route.
I ain't mad at that. Yeah, I would accept that. Yeah, I would accept that, because he was the one who actually gave me the game and the information on starting the LLC. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely accept that. Like, yeah. It took me a while to actually like follow up. It was some months actually. Like he gave me the information in 2021, like somewhere in mid 2021. I didn't really pursue it until January, 2022. So it took me a while to even, because I allow things sometimes to intimidate me before I even know really what's to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, oh, it's probably going to be a long ass application process. It's probably going to be too much money. I'm not going to understand the legal terminology. Like, and it turned out to be the easiest thing, one of the easiest things I've ever done as far as business. Maybe the easiest thing I've ever done as far as like actual business. You know what I'm saying? For those out there wanting to do something and create a brand or create a business, I have a sole proprietorship, so I'm not corporated. Sole proprietorship LLC, meaning that you have nobody on your payroll, is only you.
Yeah,
You are the owner slash operator of that brand, of that business. It's super easy. Like it's not even really an application. It's like a couple lines that you fill out and you could do it online. You don't have to have a physical piece of paper you mail.
right.
And it's super easy. You know what I'm saying? I would implore if anybody out there got a hobby or got anything that they doing monetarily, get you an LLC, get you an EIN. That's basically a social security number for your business, tax ID, and go crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's super easy. Do not let that shit intimidate
Absolutely. That's what we did as in HHDG Media Inc. Did the same exact thing.
you. Yeah, got to. It's time to
We
level up
work
out
from
here,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and what I love about your projects is you continue to represent Chicago hip hop, not just in what you're spitting about, but also the people involved. You continue
absolutely.
to maintain Chicago hip hop is here. Not going anywhere. It's here. We have dope people in the business, and we have dope MCs, we have dope producers, we have dope DJs. And the list continues to go on. And you continue that for Chicago.
Absolutely. That's the line I'm pushing. I mean, you see it. I'm not here trying to be the only one. You know what I'm saying? They say it's lonely at the top. I've never been at the top of too much in my life, but I could imagine. I don't want to be the only one. Like, if anything, like I need my peers to level up more than me if possible because they fuel me. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was no other, that's why one of the reasons why I quit and I was so over music at the time where I decided to leave the mic alone because it was nothing pushing me. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Mhm.
people who I respected was being disrespected by the masses, so to speak. So it's kind of like it was no fuel, it was no motivation. Like if I work with you, if I choose to work with you and I reach out or I oblige you reaching out to me to work, like you motivate me, you do something for me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just
Mhm.
a money thing. It ain't just a homie buddy thing. Like these artists motivate me. You know what I'm saying? Like they inspire me, and I'm not afraid to say that. Like I want us all to win. It's enough in this for everybody. I don't have that complex to where I need to be the one. I know I talk that shit about being the best and all that, but that's just I'm hardwired that way. Those that come
Yeah.
from the artists that raised me. But I really want all my peers to succeed and take this shit as far as we possibly can. Because I feel like Chicago has never planted this flag. Like people respect us for giving great, legendary, iconic artists, and I say that in more ways than just music. They respect us for giving iconic artists to the game, but we not respected like a New York or a LA, you know what I'm saying, or even a
I
Atlanta.
understand what you're saying.
We not respected like that. We never planted our flag in the turf, in the soil. You know, we a consumer market first. You know, we buy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we buy shit. You know what I'm saying? You can come here and test your shit, and we'll tell you if it's hot or not. But we've never planted our flag. We have given some incredible culture to the culture over decades. You know what I'm saying? But we not considered a hub. We've never had like a major record label here. You know, and that's got to do with other things, you know, but it's like we the third largest market, you know, but
Mm.
we not we don't get treated that way unless it's for consumer purposes. And that's our fault. I'm not saying nobody nobody holding us back. That's our fault. I see so many artists allow out of towner to stand beside them, soak up our culture, and then they take it and they blow up off of it. And the motherfucker who is being stood next to, they get their little 15 seconds of
Nothing.
fame, but they don't know what to do.
Hmm.
You know, like I'm not one of those artists. Like I'm not one of those artists, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Like whatever game you came up on, cool. But I just wish somebody in one of those positions would actually do something to boost the city because, like, I mean, we tearing each other the fuck apart between drill and just the crab in the bucket mentality. Like, we tearing each other the fuck down. Like, we not really
Yeah.
building and try to. That's why I'm glad I came back into music when I did because this crop of underground MCs, and I use that term respectfully. I know some artists don't like to be called underground. I'm a self-proclaimed underground artist. I don't have any commercial aspirations. If that shit come, it come cool. But I'm cool in my lane where I am. You know, like Kings, the King Sevens, the Big Spencers, the Griffins, the Weasel Sims, Jay Hayeses, AM Early Mornings, the Brittany Carters, the Freddie Old Souls, you know what I'm saying, the Gold Standard Collectives, the A-Dots, the A-Ways, you know what I'm saying, the Savos, everybody, you know what I'm saying, like everybody is dope, and it feel like the 90s, so to speak, to where ain't nobody trying to sound like the next motherfucker. There's some similarities,
Hmm.
of course, but ain't nobody trying to sound like the next motherfucker. Like that's what I love about this underground crop of Chicago artists, and I just want to do my part in helping us get what the fuck we deserve to be. That's all.
There you go. That was well said, man. Mm. And we spoke about Murder Castle, but we haven't got in too much depth yet about the Black Depths
Yeah,
and his
nah,
production.
bro. Yeah, killed it, killed it. Like I'm trying to remember how I came across, bro. How did I come across the Black Depths? I'm not gonna say he reached out to me. I don't remember if I reached out to him because we've been rocking the Black Murder Castle has been in production since 2021, like early 2021, maybe even 2020. I might have met the black, well, not met him, but like got in tune with him like late 2020, early 2021. I know I've been
Mhm.
working on that one because I was working on all three projects at one point in time. You know,
Wow.
so like I don't know how I came in contact with him, but I just know his shit stood out. Like his sound just stood out. It was Griselda-esque. Some producers out here make shit and it's cold, it's raw as hell. But even though I like it, I would never touch it because it's too Griselda-esque. His shit was
Gotcha.
Griselda-esque, but it was still individual. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
had his shit was like Griselda mixed with like 95, 96 RZA. Some of them joints he was in like I'm like, bro, this motherfucker is too cold. And come to find out, he was using a machine that RZA used to use back in the day. Some call it EPS. Like, I'm not a producer. I'm not in tune with none of that. I know the MPC, you know what I'm saying? But he said he was using an EPS and something else, and that's why his beats was coming out like that, just the sounds and the way they hit. I'm like, bro, we gotta work. Like, we gotta do something. Like, you just like your shit is crazy. Like the joints that I was saying, I'm like, bro, we gotta work. We gotta do something, and we put it in motion. He was sending joints, and there you have it. But yeah, I can't remember exactly how we crossed paths. I'm not gonna say he reached out to me. I want to say I probably reached out to him, but I can't remember
Mhm.
for sure.
Okay, dope, dope. And I'm glad that the two of you work together because you put him on my radar.
Yeah,
And from what I know, he hasn't worked with anybody else. I mean, he can spit as we
yeah.
seen on the first track.
Incredible MC, incredible MC, and that's he was. I think that might have been how I got in tune with him. He was doing a series of like freestyles, like rapping over his own production. And I'm like, oh, he producing and he nice. I'm like, okay, bad. Like, I really fuck with Buddy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably how it initially happened. Like saying no's, because I was following the series. I can't remember how long he was doing it, but he did a few of them. He did several of them.
Mhm.
And I was following them like, okay, yeah, he nice. He nice. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to get one in with bro. And all the artists, producers I work with, like I plan on, you know what I'm saying, circling back and getting around and doing, if not sequels, just getting more work in too. But it's just like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
requests is coming so quick, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody want to work, and I'm not saying that in no cocky way, it's dope, but everybody want to work, and I'm like, cool, but it's only so much time in a day.
Yeah. Hmm. And I love the fact that your projects are with one producer because there's a certain type of synergy and cohesion that comes with when you do it that way.
Absolutely.
Whereas you can get different producers because you might have a certain theme or concept and have 10 different producers on it. But when you lock in with that one producer, you just keep going with that creative juices that are coming out of it, those studio
Absolutely.
sessions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I can't, I mean, it's just something. It makes it so much easier because you only have to worry about the music coming from one place. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about getting track outs from this artist, or if you don't have the stems for it. Like and I mean, it's just so much easier. You know what I'm saying? Because I've definitely done projects with multiple producers in the past, but I just like the synergy. You know what I'm saying, of working with one. You know what I'm saying, one producer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's dope. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the process goes along more smoothly and a little quicker too.
So, what's do you have a favorite track off the new album?
Man, I got a few, man. It's like I could find a reason to say every track is one of my favorite tracks.
Mm.
But if I had to pick, if I had to let's say if I had to pick three, if I had to pick three, I would definitely say Triple Homicide is one. Shout out Vic, shout out Weasel Sims, they killed that joint. I love Triple Homicide. Shout out the legend Vakil. I absolutely love Buck 50s and starter jackets. That's
And
definitely one of my favorites. And see, it's hard now, man, because I love straight jacket rap. I love how we kicked it off. I love the outro, the most exalted, how I ended it. I love the collab with the homie JR, Cheat Code Flows, another
man,
incredible artist.
that
You know what
was
I'm saying?
crazy.
Like, I love what is it? How I'm forgetting the name to my own song. The joint I got with AM and Skanks, the Rap Martyr, House of
House of
a
a
Thousand
Thousand
Corpses.
Corpses. Hmm.
Like, I love that joint. Like, but I would probably have to say Uncontrolled Substance with the homie Jay Hayes. That'll probably be my third one.
Mm.
Like, cause that joint, I love the beat flip. You know what I'm saying? The transitions. Like Vic, real
Yeah.
heavy on that too. Vic Spencer, he have a couple of them on every one of his projects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm real big on the beat flip. I don't do it every project, but I
Hmm.
love it, especially when it hit the right way and it's the right transition. This beat going, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? But Hayes was originally on House of a Thousand Corpses. You know what I'm saying? Like he gave
Okay.
me. I got a Hayes verse for a House of a Thousand Corpses. You know what I'm saying? But like, and he killed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing against what he did, but I just felt like his delivery was a little similar to mine, like the
Hmm.
delivery, not the cadence or nothing like that. I wanted somebody to like come and like terrorize shit. and I met Skanks doing Skanks was out here Rome Streets and did the Audio Narco tour back in, I want to say that was August of 2021, I believe. I think it was August of 2021. And I performed, you know what I'm saying? I performed there. And Vic, you know what I'm saying, he good with Griselda and Rome, you know what I'm saying? Rim, shout out Rim, you know what I'm saying? He good with them. So he basically he having basically playing a tour guide, you know what I'm saying? So I met all them through him, and I got on Skanks after he left. Like, no, not after he left, right before he left, because it's an unreleased joint out there. It's a Vic Spencer joint. It's me, Fillmore Green. I ain't mentioned bro name none this whole interview. I'm tripping. Fillmore Green is another incredible Chicago
Yes,
artist too.
absolutely.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Super crazy. Pod the body. I don't know how I forgot to mention bro name, but it's an unreleased Vic Spencer joint with Vic, me, Fillmore, and Skanks. You know what I'm saying? And that joint is crazy. I can't remember who produced it. I don't know who produced it, but that was like we did that right before, you know what I'm saying, they left. And I got on Skanks. I heard him then. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is crazy. But I started listening to his shit, you know what I'm saying? Like after the fact, I know who he is now. We followed each other on social media, and I'm like, he is sound crazy on this House of 1,000 Corpses, and he came through and bodied it. And I just had haze. I felt like he sounded so much better. Not to say that he didn't sound good on House of 1,000 Corpses, but he sounded so much better on Uncontrolled Substance on that particular beat. And like the verse he gave me was incredible. So I would have to say those three: Triple Homicide, Straight Jacket Rap, and Uncontrolled Substance. Those would be my three favorite. But it could change. It's liable to change at any time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Shout out Bankai fam.
yeah, facts.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And another fellow Chicago artist that was on House of Thousand Corpses, AM Early Morning,
Yep.
also dropped the album the same day as you, Oakley too.
Yep. Shout out, bro. He another one that be working. Like he another one that be working, man. I respect AM as well. You know what I'm saying? He is definitely an inspiration and a motivational factor for me in this because of his output. And he lets it be known. Like he always say, I might not be the dopest, but I'm gonna outwork you. And I'm like, bro, like you are one of the dopest though. I know what he mean. Like he not real bar heavy, but every dope motherfucker don't need to be bar heavy. If everybody was bar heavy, this shit'd be boring. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like the shit that he's saying, his tone, his cadences, the way he chooses his production, the way he composes his projects. Like I respect the shit out of AM. You know what I'm saying? Like I only work with motherfuckers who I respect.
And the proof is in all these dope projects. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and we got to do some more because I only had AM give me your hook. Like we gotta really lock in and do some more. You're gonna definitely hear more of me and AM. We don't have nothing in the works as of right now, but you're gonna definitely hear more of me and AM. Like I respect, bro.
That's dope. And like you having a problem picking a favorite track, I still, after listening to the new album, I can't pick one.
And that's what I set out to do. I don't want to make it easy for you to say, "Oh, this track is by far hands down the best." Like I want to put, one knock I used to have on projects from my formative years growing, becoming the artist that I am today, like back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I used to kind of hate how projects kind of like tapered off and slowed down and got softer. Like it'll start out hard, it remained hard somewhat through the middle of it, but then when it gets to the end of the project, it's like the slower, softer songs came, and it's like I wanted that feeling through the whole shit, and that's my thing. Like I wanna I want to give you that feeling that you felt at the very beginning from the intro. I want to give you that shit through all 12, 13, however many songs. Like, I don't want it to let down and be here and then be that. Like, I want it to be consistent, if not crescendo. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a big fan of like overkill. Like I'm beating a dead horse every project. Like I just want to give you banger after banger after banger after banger. I want it to be hard for you to choose what's your favorite song. Like I don't want that shit to be an easy task. If it's too easy, then that means that I got work to do next project.
Right. No, that's how it should be.
Exactly.
You don't want anybody skipping your tracks.
Facts. Facts. I know you're gonna have your favorites and certain joints not gonna mean as much as other joints, but it's like
Right.
I don't want you to be able to front on anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Another person on the album we didn't talk about is Green Slime on
Shout
Murder
out,
One.
bro. Shout out, bro.
Man,
Another dope ass Chicago artist that I respect heavily. Like, man, the features did me so right. Like they deserve so much more credit in making Murder Castle what it is because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the most features I had on any of the 4 projects, and
that's
that was
true.
on purpose. You know what I'm saying? That was on purpose. Like I felt like I've proven that I could hold down a project on my own majority. I know Hell's Angels had one feature that was the Doing Filthy track with the Filthy Records roster, but I felt like I proved that. I felt like I can create a body of work and keep your attention with minimal features. You know what I'm saying? So this was me kind of like wanting to work with some of the dudes who maybe I've worked with before and some that I haven't worked with that I definitely wanted to work with. So you know what I'm saying? This project was dope putting together. Like this was probably the I probably had the most fun putting this project together. Like just hearing the music come together because it's different. You know, when you create the music, you going through the rough mixes. It started off with like the phone recordings, like the voice notes. I recorded them in my phone so I remember the cadence of the flow and all that. So it started with that, and it's a little. I'm geeked a little bit because I'm like, oh yeah, this verse is crazy. I can't wait till I flesh it out and see how it come out. And then you start getting ideas. I start putting audio samples in. Oh, I want this person on it, or I want you to switch it up. Like it was just dope seeing this project, you know, develop into what it is. That's why people ask me what's my favorite project. I can never answer that question because it's like a mother giving birth. Like you dealing with that embryo developing in you for however many months, and you got that
Mhm.
attachment to it. Like I'm cooking this shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's basically me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I have a special attachment to this music. Like I can't really be just picking like what's my favorite project. You know what I'm saying? It's that's almost impossible.
Yeah, that's like today when you was asking about that. Now, I said right now I still can't pick one.
Right. Right.
And even if I do go and listen to them one after the other, I'm pretty sure I'm still not gonna have a favorite one because each one has a different feel to them.
Exactly.
So they're not gonna resonate with that with me the same way that I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, well this is my favorite one. It just doesn't happen that way.
They all represent something different on purpose. You know, I don't want to get caught up in giving you the same project over and over and over and over. Because then, you know, I'm my biggest critic, you know, so I'd be kind of worried about what I put out, you know, because I understand I'm still at a level to where like every impression is a first impression. Like I'm still so new to a lot of people that this could very well be somebody's first time hearing me. So I have to make sure I come correct. I'm building, this is a grassroots movement we got going. I'm building from
Mm.
the ground up. Motherfuckers talking about getting it out the mud. We getting it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? So I have to make sure that everything is tight. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be tight. It gotta be locked in. Every T gotta be crossed, every I gotta be dotted. You know what I'm saying? Before I present this to the masses. Because I'm looking to gain more fans. I'm looking to add on to what's already here. So I can't be dicking around with my music and like just putting anything out or not being sure. You know what I'm saying? It's a level of uncertainty. Like I
Mm.
released Off Your Shoulders as the first single. That was not supposed to be the first joint to be released. It was supposed to be the rawest. It just so happened the
Ah,
whole Will Smith, Chris Rock fiasco was going on. And shout out to homie DJ Sean Doe, because my oblivious ass, I take pride in not being into celebrity gossip and all that. So I knew about it, but I was paying attention to it, but I wasn't like searching for shit like that.
yeah.
Like if I see it, I see it. But Sean Doe called me. I'm at work. He called me like, you know, if we was about that life, we'll put out Off Your Shoulders as soon as possible right now with this whole Will Smith shit going on. And I'm like, light bulb. I'm like, bro, you a genius. Like I called on me custom because custom do the majority, if not all my artwork. You know what I'm saying? He a dope
Hmm.
ass graphic designer as well, and producer. And I hit custom real quick. He did a cover, you know what I'm saying? And we dropped it. I think the same day. We dropped it the same day that Sean Doe hit me up. So and I was kind of like, excuse me, I was kind of that's one of them tracks where I was like, I don't know, it's a little different. It's hard and it's me as far as the bars, but you know, I got the hook, you know what I'm saying, the little sing songy. That's kind of
Yeah.
like my 50 Cent, my mixtape era 50 Cent impression right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that song remind me of 0350 or something like. mixtape 50. You know what I'm saying? Right before the Shady deal, right before Get Rich or Die
Mhm.
Trying. So it's like I don't know if they're gonna accept this from me, but the one thing I can say about when I do different shit is that I feel it. Like it's genuine. It ain't. I wasn't trying to be 50 Cent. I didn't go into that song saying like I, I want to make a song like how 50 would have made it 10 years ago. Actually, the hook came about me playing with my son. Like my oldest had came into my room and I don't know if he said some slick, and I just started saying, "You could get your shit slapped off your shoulders," because I'm trying to write to the beat, and he came in the room and he said something, and I'm like, instead of me cursing him out, like I'm like, "Boy, you could get your shit slapped off your shoulders, keep playing," and I'm like, "Oh, that shit kind of hard though." I'm like, "Okay," and I went with it. So it's like sometimes
Mm.
it's be coming out of thin air, man.
Come in, yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. And you saying that it doesn't feel like it was that type of, like it was like not hard enough to you
No,
in a way.
I was just worried about how the people would perceive that or
Oh, see,
how they would
okay.
accept that song coming from me. You know, because I've
Mm.
done a little harmonizing here and there. Like I play with it, you know what I'm saying? But just the type of track, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it was something different that I feel like I hadn't really done before. And so I was just curious to see how the people would react to it, and they fucked with it. I didn't get
yeah.
no bad reviews from it.
Nah, that track, it has a, to me, even though it's kind of playful, it has a dark feel.
Yeah,
And what transitions it is after the Dave Chappelle part, and then the beat drops,
right.
it gets real dark fast.
Right. And that's what I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be overly serious, like super threatening. Like I wanted people to know like I'll beat a motherfucker ass if it come to that. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I'm not that type of person that's looking for an issue or looking for a problem. So this was just like the comic relief for the project because the project is so dark, it is so hard, it is so grimy. You know what I'm saying? So this was like the comic relief. This was the parody, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? That's why I included the Dave Chappelle, you know what I'm saying, the skit in there, and you hear the little audio clips of screams and like the little just
Mhm.
the little funny sounds like the like that little silly shit like that, you know. So I just wanted I try to make it clear that this is a playful track. Like it's hard. It's a little bit of truth in every joke. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, motherfuckers get their shit slapped off their shoulders. Like I've got
Yep.
mine slapped off my shoulders, and I've slapped some motherfucking shit off their shoulders as well. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's just a playful track, but it's some hard shit to complement the rest of the album. It's like the comic relief portion of the project.
Dope, dope. Mhm. You have another video that might be coming out from this album.
Actually, I don't have one in the tuck as of yet, but I plan on doing at least two more. I want to do two more. It might only be one, but I want to do at least two more. So we gonna see how that go. I ain't gonna give out, you know what I'm saying, what joints they'll be to, but I got some thoughts, man. I got some plans. We gonna see
Okay,
if I can execute.
cool, cool. And I've had this question since Hell's Angels, Heaven's Demons came out. Is it possible for a project of Filthy Records artists? Because the track Doom Filthy with Tone Live, Green Slime, Decay, Solar 5, and Def C,
Yeah,
that track was ill, man. And, you know, that just had
gratitude,
me thinking.
gratitude. Uh, it's some stuff in the works. It's some stuff in the works. That's a slow cook right there, though. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're dealing with, you know, multiple parties and multiple
Mhm.
entities, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard. Everybody got their own schedule. Everybody got their own personal life and their own situation. So I'm not saying that it's difficult to make happen, but you know what I'm saying? It's a slow burn. You know what I'm saying? That's a slow cook right there. But you can expect that somewhere down the line. Hopefully sooner than later. But that's something to definitely look forward to, I would say.
That's ill. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all killed that track, man.
Gratitude. I had fun with that one too. I had fun with that one.
So what's next for you right now?
More music, man. We're gonna continue to push Murder Castle. I'm really trying to get some legs under this. I want this to be just another project here today, going tomorrow. So we're gonna focus on Murder Castle for you know what I'm saying for the foreseeable future. I'm definitely working on new music. My writing, my inspiration to write be up and down. So I
Okay.
might write 3 songs in a matter of 4 or 5 days, and I might not write again for a couple months. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. It's a lot going on. Personally, got a whole gig out here, so it's just whenever I have to be mentally in that mode. If I'm not mentally in that mode, I'm never gonna like what it is that I come with. So whenever I'm mentally right, it'll come out as it should.
Cool, cool. Any upcoming shows?
Not as of right now. That's something I'm looking forward to getting back into, the live performance. My last show, I believe, was my last show. I was about to say the one in October at Sub T. My last show was actually with the homie King 7. You know what I'm saying? He threw a show at the Promontory. You know what I'm saying? And he got in contact with me and wanted me to be down. I'm like, all right, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? He put that together and it came out dope. Shout out 95 Goldie, you know what I'm saying? Lord SC, King 7, DJ Real, you know what I'm saying? We did our thing. He even bought the homie JR Bang, got a retirement that had him host. So I'm like, that shit was dope. So, but I got some stuff that I'm trying to line up on my own. Well, not on my own, just me, but in-house, some shit that we trying to line up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely. You could definitely expect to see me on somebody's stage before the year's out multiple times.
Dope, dope, dope. And before we go, I have one last question.
Yes, sir.
In the process of creating Murder Castle, what is one thing that the people might not know about?
One thing that people might not know about the creation of Murder Castle. The only thing that come to mind is that project was probably in curation for about 2 years, probably. That project was in creation for about 2 years, and not because like I couldn't find a zone, I couldn't get in the zone. It's just the fact that, again, like I was working on like the Eternal Reflection, Murder Castle, and still busy with IAMGAWD. I think IAMGAWD might have been complete or near completion and just putting finishing touches on it. But I was working on all three of those projects at one point in time, all like simultaneously. And I never really do that because I don't want the vibe from one project to spill over into the next project. I want them to sound different. So, but it worked out because I was able to compartmentalize and really flip a switch to go into Eternal Reflection, then flip the switch and go into Murder Castle. But Murder Castle was in its infancy stages at that point in time. Like the majority of Murder Castle didn't get finished until 2021. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's probably something that the people probably wouldn't know. Like that one took a little while to get finished.
That's dope. Dope. I am God.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you taking the time to
Man, I appreciate you
let
having
us
me,
speak
bro.
with you.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, y'all need to go check out his projects. I Am God, The Reflection Eternal, Hell's Angels.
That's the Eternal Reflection, not to be
I'm sorry, the
confused
Eternal.
with
I'm
because
sorry about that.
people would go searching for something and they won't find
Yeah,
it. Like I thought you said, nah,
the,
the Eternal
the
Reflection.
Eternal
Yes, sir.
Reflection, yes.
Yes, sir.
Hell's Angels, Heaven's Demons,
Yep.
Murder Castle.
Yep. We 4 for 4 at
Definitely go
this
check
point.
those out.
That's what they telling me. They telling me we 4 for 4. So we just trying to keep it going. No misses yet.
Still copies available of this. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's kind of light on there.
Yeah, the CDs came out a little light skin, but the vinyl look a little better though.
Definitely. So give the people your shout outs.
So yeah, man. Shout out to Old Filthy Records, Decay, Slime, Solar 5, Def C, Tone Live, DJ Sean Doe, the homie Custom Made. Shout out to all my peers, man. Vic Spencer, Fillmore Green, Weasel Sims, Jay Hayes, Brittany Carter, Freddie Oldsoul, Griffin, King 7, the whole Gold Standard Collective. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who doing their thing. Shout out all the incredible artists that I became privy to and got cool with via Twitter. JR, Backwoods Sweetie, Know It All, Patty Honcho, Black Shadori. It's so many. You know what I'm saying? If I'm missing the name, if I'm leaving out the name, my apologies. Shout out to Legend Bakil for blessing me with that joint for Buck 50s and starter jackets. I don't think bro really understand how much that mean to me to have him on that joint going crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? Shout him out. Shout out the people. Shout out the people. You know what I'm saying? Because without y'all, none of this shit mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out the people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who y'all are. The supporters, you know what I'm saying? Like they y'all really be showing out for me, and I appreciate y'all. My mission is to never let y'all down when it comes to this music shit, to put my best foot forward and give y'all my best effort every time. Um if you want to hit Murder Castle, it's out exclusively on Bandcamp right now. It will be hitting streaming platforms May 20th. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, it's strictly on Bandcamp, and the Bandcamp is No Mediocre. That's NOMEDIOCRE .bandcamp BANDCAMP.com. No mediocre.bandcamp.com. That'll take you to everything. Murder Castle will be the first thing that pop up. But yeah, man, like I appreciate y'all for steady grabbing the vinyl, the CDs, like the digital, like whatever. Like I appreciate any, you know what I'm saying, form of support, whether it's a retweet, a like, word of mouth. Like y'all been going crazy for me since, you know what I'm saying, like I've been back, and I really appreciate it. But at GodMC, IG, GAWDEMCEE, at GodMC, Twitter, I am God, YouTube. We here, man. Chicago never forgot how to rap, man. We gonna keep smacking y'all over there with that raw shit. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Getting ahead without devolving.
Yes, sir.
I Am
Always.
God is a true representation of that.
Gratitude, gratitude.
On behalf of our HHDG media crew, we're going to say peace.
Peace out.